Salut à toutes et à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. Moi ça va super, on est parti pour une nouvelle news et oui, du côté des USA, ben c'est parti pour un octobre rouge. Et oui, les dockers ont 45 000 dockers ont voté pour la grève. Je sais pas si elle sera illimitée, mais elle commencera au moment où cette vidéo sera postée mardi à 8 h. La grève aura déjà commencé. Les dockers ont voté la grève. Ils débrayent mardi 85 000 dockers du Maine au Texas. Cette grève aura un impact sur 36 ports et sur toutes les importations et exportations du Maine et du Texas. Ça risque d'être très dur, et oui. Comme vous le savez, le Texas et tout sont des plaques tournantes de gros trafic, tout ce qui touche aux produits de matières dangereuses et tout. Parce que j'ai déjà joué sur American Truck, c'est vrai que les ports du Texas, c'est des méga ports, c'est pas des tout petits ports comme chez nous, donc c'est déjà des grosses plateformes qui tournent niveau débit conteneur. Déjà, quand vous savez un méga conteneur, ça peut aller jusqu'à, je crois, plus de 30 000 conteneurs, autant vous dire, vous faites le calcul en une journée, niveau rotation, vous avez de quoi faire. Je vais vous laisser avec les news des médias qui en parlent, parce que ça va être assez rock'n'roll, très rock'n'roll, c'est au mois d'octobre. N'hésitez pas aussi à rejoindre à 17 h, il y a une vidéo que j'avais fait sur... Il y avait un peu pré-shot que tout ce qui serait octobre-novembre serait ultra chaud niveau... Mais je vais pas vous spoiler niveau news, parce que voilà. Mais je vous conseille d'y aller jeter un petit coup d'œil quand vous aurez soit maté cette vidéo, soit que si vous... vice-versa, donc voilà. On se trouve pour de prochaines news. Allez, hop là. Je vous laisse avec les vidéos.
Administration officials are urging the dock workers union and the shipping industry to return to the negotiating table ahead of a looming strike. If the union does walk out at midnight on Tuesday, the impact on the U.S. economy could be catastrophic. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
Tonight, 45,000 dock workers on the East and Gulf Coasts are preparing to walk off the job, and it could be devastating for the U.S. economy. 14 ports from New England to Texas could shut down Tuesday at midnight. Up to 36 could be affected. Those crucial hubs responsible for nearly 35% of all U.S. imports and exports.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down.
The International Longshoremen's Association demanding higher hourly wages in their new contract and a ban on automated cranes, gates, and trucks. A prolonged strike could mean delayed shipping and higher prices for Americans on things like clothes, electronics, cars, and food like canned goods and fresh produce. The U.S. economy would take a direct hit.
It's estimated that a strike would cost somewhere around $5 billion a day.
The U.S. Maritime Alliance, representing the shippers and ports, says it's committed to negotiating, but claims the union is not bargaining in good faith. The Biden administration urging both sides to negotiate fairly and quickly.
Both sides have got to settle the strike. Support the collective bargaining effort. I think they'll settle the strike.
Now, according to a senior White House official, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and other top officials met with the alliance to deliver that message. Lindsay?
Rena, thank you.
Strike for union workers at major shipping ports along the East Coast. Thousands are set to hit the picket line this Tuesday. The International Longshoremen's Association ordering a strike after talks demanding fairer wages hit a standstill. News Nation's Caitlin Becker joins us live from Port Elizabeth, New Jersey. Caitlin, what are we learning here? Major developments since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, truly, Jesse. I was not expecting to hear this today. We're 36 hours before the deadline, and the communication announcing that they're absolutely going to strike. They're going to walk off the job when their current contract expires. Now, it's a 6-year contract. Each of these contracts are 6 years, and the expiration date is midnight on Monday. So 12:01 Tuesday, these workers are going to walk off the job. There's going to be a full-on work stoppage up and down the East Coast and parts of the Gulf. Now, the ILA has not released any details specifically about exactly where these picket lines are going to be. They said that's going to come likely sometime tomorrow. However, they did note what the major issue was, and it really came down, Jesse, to wage stagnation. They said that the U.S. Maritime Alliance, that is who they're in talks with or were in talks with, just wouldn't come to an agreement about about what they called wage subjugation that they said had been happening for years. Now, I have to tell you that from the USMX perspectives, they have said time and again that they were offering industry-leading wages more than the 32%, which was the last hike that their West Coast counterparts got for their contract last year. But the ILA wanted a 77% wage hike, and they just couldn't come to an agreement. Now, these two groups haven't been at the negotiating table for months. These talks stalled back in June. So this is something, kind of an eventuality that we were all expecting. And the ILA president has said in the past that they've been planning for this for a year. So the impacts could be far-ranging, though.
Can we talk about that? Because what we're referring to, just to make it clear for our audience, is essentially the entire East Coast. What is the impact on customers come Tuesday?
Could be pretty large. Probably Tuesday itself, we won't feel it, but the ripple effect, according to retail experts, are things that we could certainly feel. And you said pretty much the entire East Coast, and I actually want to read you the list of the 14 ports that are going to be impacted. They're, of course, the port of New York and New Jersey, which is where I'm at right now, as well as the ports of Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Norfolk, Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, Mobile, New Orleans, and Houston. That's a massive, massive number of huge cities. And every single good you can think of flows in and out of these ports. So as I said, the ripple effect could be pretty large. We could be seeing increases in shipping costs, delays in shipments, this backlog that's gonna sit untouched, not being able to be loaded and unloaded, because that's specifically what we're talking about here, the loading and the unloading of these shipping containers. And one of the things that the union had a problem with was the thought that their jobs could be automated in the future. I think we're hearing that in a lot of different industries, and that's, of course, a sticking point here as well. Now, full automation is off the table. There is a current ban for that already, and the USMX said they're going to keep that. However, they wanted to negotiate semi-automation, and these big cranes that you see behind me at this port, those are things that could potentially be semi-automated or fully automated, and that means these workers could potentially lose their jobs in the future. So in addition to, of course, all of these shipping issues and the ripple effect that could have with commerce as we ramp into the holiday season, all these people are going to be out of a job too. So hopefully the strike won't last for too long, and these two can come to an agreement on each side kind of getting what they want. And we do know that the White House had tried to get these two sides back to the bargaining table because they wanted to avoid this situation that we are going to find ourselves in on Tuesday. However, the Biden administration has said that they support collective bargaining, and they've never tried to intervene in a strike in the past, and they are not going to.
Autant vous dire qu'à l'approche de Noël et tout, c'est vrai qu'une grève aux USA des gros ports et tout, ça va poser un gros problème, comme elle a dit la dame, ça va faire un gros bordel. Je sens que ces prochains mois vont être assez tendus, donc voilà, n'hésite pas à liker, partager et abonne-toi. Et pour plus de news, n'hésite pas à rejoindre le serveur Discord, à t'abonner, à liker. Et on se retrouve pour les prochaines news. Tchuss!